Alright everyone, it is Dokkan time again, and today we will be going over the how to build video for the Carnival Physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Now, unfortunately today I will be telling you that there will be no team build in here. I did it as an experiment for the last couple of videos, and I've decided that for these new released units like this, I'll probably just make a separate video for the team builds, mostly due to the fact that people are going to need several different types of teams to be utilizing, and I don't feel like I have the time to do that as I am recording currently at almost 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm tired, so it would take me hours to even attempt to do such a thing, and I do want some more time to see how these units perform before I suggest some teams for them. So with all that being said, let's just kind of get into Gohan's kit here. So Gohan is actually pretty good, although I have seen quite a bit of misunderstandings with him, and I hope to remedy it a little bit. But let's go over his leader options here. So as far as his leader options go, I would say Beast Gohan, the Family Kamehameha Gohan, and Glorio are probably the current best situated units to be really rocking, other than of course himself as a leader and the new Tech Vegito as a 220 250 lead. That would probably be the best available leader for him. It's not that you can't utilize him on, say, Broly or whatever, any of these other teams. It's just that at current time of release of this video, these are the best possible choices for you. I do believe the 7th anniversary gods are going to get their EZA, and that will probably be a good team as well. But the rest of these are all just too outdated for the current level of content. He is a full power Ki +4 attack and defense and HP 220 leader. His 12 Ki is raise attack and defense for 1 turn and lowers enemies defense, and then his 18 Ki is greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn and greatly lowering the enemy's defense. Unfortunately, he does not stack or have any other crazy effects on his super. As far as his passive go, he does have an entrance animation that can only be activated if there is another full power or Android Cell Saga ally on the team upon his entry turn. He does launch an additional attack that has a 30% chance of becoming a super attack per existing enemy up to 5 times within a turn. So you could technically utilize this potentially for like World Tournament. I'm kind of curious on the next World Tournament to see if anybody utilizes this effect. And he does launch an additional 2 super attacks for 4 turns, which is very good. It's very good. Basic effects is Ki +5, attack and defense 258. He guards all attacks and he has a 20% damage reduction. And then he gets an additional Ki +1 per Ki sphere obtained. And when attacking, he has 158% attack. And then for every attack performed, which means normals do count towards this build-up, Ki +1 up to 5, and attack and defense plus 10% up to 80%. And when receiving an attack, he gets 158% defense. This does mean he does have to get hit, so if he does dodge, it will not proc. Starting from the 5th turn for the character's entry turn, he gets an additional attack plus 158 and defense plus 58% when attacking with 18 or more Ki, and then performs a crit when activating his active skill or when he hits 24 Ki. My assumption is that you're not going to have too many issues getting to that 24 Ki marker, so you should be okay on there. He does have an auto crit, but it is only after the 5th turn. That can be a little bit rough, and it could also be, you know, you could think of it as not taking advantage of the fact that this guy can do a triple quad super in a turn. You know, not having any built-in crit up until after you've already lost that potential DPS kind of momentum is kind of rough, and it is why there will be an option for a potential crit into his build, but let's just keep going. His active skill is the Father-Son Kamehameha, and he does Ki +24 and attack +58 for the 1 turn. And he can activate it when there is another Kamehameha category ally on the team, starting from the 5th turn, or when facing only one enemy whose HP is 89% or less, starting from the 5th turn from the character's entry turn. So basically, you can activate this as soon as you would lose his intro. My suggestion to you is that if you're going to utilize him defensively, to wait to use this, as it will proc his defense, and it will make him be in a more defensively viable situation. He does have standard Super Saiyan links. The big oddball out of here would be Shocking Speed, otherwise Super Saiyan, Saiyan Warrior Race, Kamehameha, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. All of these are all links that are shared by a large majority of Super Saiyan units. So much so that he actually shares 6 out of 7 links, I believe, even with Broly. But anyways, he is obviously going to link very well with the old AGL Super Saiyan transforming Gohan. Namagoku is also a very fine, good partner for this guy, as I do not believe this Gohan is a slot 1 unit. He's a slot 2 unit. And Namagoku is a perfect slot 1 unit. You also got the family Kamehameha Gohan. That is also a very suitable unit, specifically once he goes into his standby. I think that could also be a very viable partner. It's just not a permanent partner, you know? And then, of course, like I said, the Broly's actually... He does link up very well with the Broly's because he has just standard Super Saiyan links. So it's very interesting how he links up so well with everybody. But otherwise, I think Beast Gohan would be a very good partner as well. Slot 1 unit. Definitely would help him out quite a bit. And then, of course, the Super Saiyan 34 Goku would be very good as well, as he is a Power Beyond Super Saiyan supporter, which would help him defensively, especially with the off-turn support and on-rotational support. So, with all that being said, I think we're just dragging on to his partners. He's got a lot of partners. He's got a lot of good, he's a standard kind of Super Saiyan Link partner, prepared for battle, Shocking Speed. It really opens it up for him as far as partners goes. So let's just go ahead and go take a look over at Twitter and take a look at Halvard's defense calculations for this guy, just to give you a better idea of how defensively good he can be. So there is a big word jumble of numbers in here, but basically with his intro, when he can do all these additionals, you know, before he's fully built up, you know, you only start at 287 start a turn. But then, of course, once you... Hold on, let me change the music. There we go, that's better. Once you actually get some additionals built up, remember, you only have to do normals. You don't have to do supers, you can just do normals, and it'll build up. And that's pretty good. That's actually really good for Gohan, because that means he can 18 key. He'll get his 2 free supers. If there's an additional target, he'll get another additional potentially, and then you have your hidden potential. So I mean, you can get 4 or 5 attacks in a single fight. Really, it could be a really crazy turn. But basically, he needs to attack 8 times in order to fully build himself up. So usually that takes about 2 turns. And at full build up post super, you'll be at around the only 700k. But once you receive an attack, you see that receiving attack point right there is where all of his defense really kicks in. As you can see, there's a huge difference. So if he just doesn't get attacked at all, his defense is just really low. But obviously, if you're not getting attacked, it doesn't matter, right? But when he receives an attack post 18 key super, he'll be at 1.4 million defense. And then if he additionals, he'll be at the 1.7 million defense. Keep in mind, this Gohan has guard. He's got 20% damage reduction. And I'm telling you right now, guard and damage reduction do help out quite a bit. They do help out quite a bit. To the point of where he can tank a 3 and 4 million super. Mind you, you will take a large chunk of your health out, of course. You know, 3/4 to a half, if not dang near like 80% of your health could be lost. So it is something to keep in mind on who you're fighting. And then, of course, turn 5+, you ignore all these additionals because he can't do all these additionals. Halvard messed up on that. He admitted that. But turn 5+, you know, 2 million defense potentially with an additional, as we said before. And, you know, he's not really taking into consideration of how much off-turn support rotations or crazy amounts of support he could be getting. So I do see his defense as being very viable and very good. It's just you really have to pay attention to what super is coming in at you. And then with all this new 10th anniversary content, we are getting into that point where we're getting crazy amounts of normals, crazy higher levels of damage, criticals coming in. So it's really rough right now. We don't really know what to expect. So, but I think he's pretty good. I think he's pretty good right now at the time of recording. So let's go over his builds now. His 55% build, as you can see up here in the top right-hand corner, for the minimum amount of what he'll be at, level 12 additional is what I would aim for. So give him that level 5 silver equip and level 2 bronze equip. Also remember that this is not including any potential special equipment orbs that he could be getting from the 10th anniversary or beyond. I do think he could be getting some special equipment orbs, so just keep that in mind. Please adjust accordingly. That typically, for most units, their special equips are better choices to be equipping to the equipment slots right here, so just keep that in mind. Though I will tell you, if you're at 55% and they give him a defense equip, even if it's a level 8, I would still suggest probably just throwing in a level 2 bronze equip for right now, and then once you get dupes, swap it out. But yeah. Let's go ahead and move on to his dupes build here. So as far as with dupes specifically, I would suggest going into additional primarily. It's just the best thing you can do really for Gohan when he actually needs to build up these 8 attacks. 8 attacks is quite a bit, and you only have 4 turns with these extra additional super attacks right here. So it is best to try and give him more additional to try and build up faster if potentially possible. It'll also be a very wise decision for when you actually lose your intro and you'll be depending on this right here. You'll only be doing 1 super attack at that point, so the additional hidden potential will be the only way you're going to do additionals at that point. And when he's doing auto crits after the 5th turn, I would say that is probably the best thing you can really do, is to give him additional. So, as for the rest of his kit, you can literally decide based on your player preference if you want to go for dodge or if you want to go for crit. The crit would only be helping you for the first 4 turns of the fight, so that is something to keep in mind. I feel like this is kind of like an AGL Kale, an AGL Broly situation where both of those units get built-in crit after transforming, but if you give it crit early, you have the potential to be getting through some specific fights and certain events much more reliably because the crit will help you burn through the enemies faster. But yeah, it's a really hard choice in all honesty. But dodge would be the only other thing to be really putting it into. And as far as his equipment orbs go, as I said before on the 55% point, I don't know if this unit will be getting 10th anniversary special equipment orbs. If he does, replace these with those orbs, more than likely, unless they're crit, and then maybe choose otherwise if you're going towards the dodge route. But anyways, I do view this Gohan as a damage dealer. Post full build-up with hitting turn 5, you will be at around Rainbow status, 220% leader. You can hit up to 40 million damage. You can get up really high on that damage. So I do think that an attack orb wouldn't be the worst thing to give him here. If you want to give him just more additional or more dodge, that's obviously completely fine. Just make sure they're EX orbs so that you can swap them out later if you so choose. As far as the silver and gold equip, I would suggest a variety of additional in some form. Ignore the fact that this is a dodge and this is a critical orb right here mixed with additionals. These are just examples based on if you choose to go dodge or crit. So basically, if you choose to go more to the crit route, maybe you should grab a dual additional and crit orb for both slots here for gold and silver. But if you choose to go the dodge route along with the additional, go for additional dodge orbs like this. That would be my biggest suggestion there. Otherwise, I honestly think that he's pretty good. But let's go ahead and go take a look at his roll tips now. As far as his roll tips go, as I said, I do believe he is primarily a damage dealing unit. That is what this Gohan does very well, regardless of how you decide to build him. I feel like that's his primary focus, is to just be doing damage. As far as the leader options go, I think a double Glorio would be really well for him. Give him that off-turn support rotation. You'll have options for other Gohans on the team. and some other supports that can be floating around as well. I think that would be pretty good options. You would also still have the option for a Beast Gohan as a leader and as a partner. I didn't put Beast Gohan down here as a partner, but you definitely can use Beast Gohan as a partner. He is definitely a very good one. He just won't give you all in the family, unfortunately. And then he himself is a good leader. The new tech Vegito is a perfectly good leader, and then the family Kamehameha Gohan is a good leader as well. And partner. As far as other partners go, I would say Namagoku is a good one to be throwing into slot 1, getting that guard, damage reduction, bunch of links going off. And then as another partner, technically the Tech Vegito is a good option, just not until you get to the Vegeta specific point, or Vegito. That's when he'll be a good partner specifically to be throwing into slot 1. Daima-Goku is more of a floating supportive kind of partner that I think would be good for him. And then Super Saiyan 3, 4 Goku would actually be good in slot 1 if you're relying on the dodge capability, or if he's already built up a little bit. His off-turn support rotation would help him quite a bit. And Broly is actually surprisingly a very good link partner, as he's a good suitable slot 1 unit to go along with this Gohan. I love this Broly unit quite a bit, and 6 out of 7 links. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good partner. As far as his best slot position goes, it's definitely going to be in slot 2. I think fully built up, he can go into slot 1 depending on who you're fighting. And then if he uses active skill, he can definitely go into slot 1 and tank as long as you have a full HP bar. But otherwise, his home is straight up in slot 2. You could float him depending on the team synergy you got rocking, but I wouldn't float him until he is fully built up. That would be my biggest suggestion as far as slot positioning goes. But anyways, guys, I think that's going to be it for Gohan. I like Gohan a lot. I think he's getting underrated excessively. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this Gohan. How did you decide to build him, and what team are you going to use? Because I do plan on making a team build video for him. Several different team builds for if you got him, or, you know, trying to utilize a friend support, of course, too. I'm going to try and utilize all of those options, but I'm not going to be able to get that until maybe tomorrow or another day. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good day and a good night.